know they weren't good for you. You knew it when you were with them. You know it now. And still, something in you reaches for them. At random moments, a song, a smell, a certain kind of afternoon light, it all comes flooding back. The missing hits like a wave you didn't see coming, and you can't explain why, because logically you know better. You've told yourself you know better, and yet here you are, at 2 a.m., replaying a conversation from 6 months ago, like maybe this time it'll make sense. So why does your brain keep going back? The answer isn't weakness, it isn't stupidity, and it has nothing to do with how strong or self-aware you are. It has everything to do with how your brain was designed, and what happens inside it when a bond forms, even a painful one. Here's what's actually going on. When you're in a relationship, any relationship, your brain does something it does with almost nothing else in your life. It builds a dedicated reward system around that person. Neuroscientists call this pair bonding, and it's driven largely by two chemicals, dopamine and oxytocin. Dopamine is your brain's anticipation molecule. It fires when you expect something good, when something feels exciting, when a reward might be coming. Oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone, builds attachment, trust, and a deep sense of familiarity with another person. Together, they wire someone into your brain's reward circuitry. And here's the part nobody tells you. This wiring doesn't evaluate the relationship. It doesn't audit the dynamic. It doesn't check whether the connection was healthy before it commits. It just bonds. So when that person disappears from your life, even if you were the one who ended it, even if they hurt you repeatedly, your brain doesn't experience freedom. It experiences withdrawal. Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist at Rutgers University, spent years scanning the brains of people who had just been through a breakup. What she found was striking. The brain regions that lit up weren't just the emotional zones you'd expect. The neural activity of someone processing heartbreak looked remarkably similar to the brain activity of someone going through cocaine withdrawal. The same craving centers, the same obsessive intrusive focus, the same desperate hunger for just one more hit. That hit, in your case, is them. And this gets significantly more complicated when the relationship was unpredictable, because a stable, consistent relationship produces a steady and moderate level of dopamine. But a volatile relationship, one where warmth and coldness alternated, where you never quite knew where you stood, where the good moments were incredible and the bad ones were crushing, produced something different. It produced spikes, random, intense, unpredictable bursts of dopamine every time things felt good between you, and your brain loves spikes. This is called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same psychological mechanism that makes slot machines so difficult to walk away from. When a reward is unpredictable, your brain doesn't get bored or give up. It gets more invested. It keeps pulling the lever, because maybe this time, maybe this moment, will be the one that pays out. The uncertainty doesn't weaken the attachment. It deepens it. So the relationship that hurt you the most, it may have rewired your brain the most completely. There's another layer to this, and it's quieter, but it matters. Psychologist Dorothy Tenov, who researched romantic attachment for decades, coined the term limerence, a state of involuntary, intrusive longing for another person that operates almost entirely outside of your conscious control. Limerence isn't just love. It's obsessive thought loops, emotional highs and crashes, a hyper-focus on the other person that persists even when you're trying to move on. Limerence doesn't dissolve when the facts change. You can know, with complete clarity, that someone was wrong for you, even harmful to you, and still experience limerence. Because limerence isn't a rational response, it's a neurological one. The knowing and the longing can exist in the same brain at the same time without contradiction, because they're operating in entirely different regions. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, long-term thinking, and sound judgment, gets partially suppressed when you're in this state. Researchers at University College London found that romantic love and attachment consistently reduce activity in the areas associated with critical social assessment. In plain terms, your brain temporarily dials down its own ability to evaluate the person you're attached to. That's not a personal failure. That's neuroscience. And then there's memory. And this part might reframe everything. The human brain doesn't store memories the way a camera stores footage. It reconstructs them every single time. Each time you remember something, your brain rebuilds the scene from available emotional fragments. And in the process, it edits. When someone is gone, especially someone you were deeply attached to, your brain tends to amplify the good moments and soften the painful ones over time. Psychologists call this rosy retrospection, and it isn't a flaw. It's a protective mechanism. Your brain is trying to spare you from unrelenting grief. But it also means the person you're missing may not be entirely the person who actually existed in your daily life. You might be mourning a version of them, the version that appeared in the good moments, the one who laughed at exactly the right time, the one who made you feel, even briefly, like you were completely understood. That version was real. And it was also partial. It was one dimension of a much more complicated picture that your brain has slowly started editing down to something more bearable. What you miss is real. The ache is real. The specific way they said your name, that's real. But the story your brain is quietly constructing about them is worth examining carefully. So what do you actually do with all of this? The first thing, and it sounds simple but it genuinely isn't, is to stop judging yourself for missing them. Missing someone who hurt you doesn't mean you were naive. It means your brain did exactly what human brains are built to do. It attached, it bonded, and now it is processing loss, even when the loss is something that needed to happen for your own well-being. The second thing is to get specific about what you're actually missing, because it often isn't them. Sometimes it's the feeling of being chosen. It's the ritual of having someone to tell things to at the end of the day. It's the version of yourself that existed inside that relationship. More awake, maybe, or more visible, or just less alone. When you get precise about what the longing is pointing to, you often discover that it's pointing towards something you still need, just not necessarily toward the person you lost. The third thing is active time. The brain's reward pathways can be redirected, but they need input to do it. New experiences, consistent connection with people who are safe and reliable, things that produce their own sense of aliveness. The goal isn't to erase them from your memory. The goal is to slowly give your brain other places to go, other things to anticipate, other people to learn. Because the part of you that bonded so deeply, that attached so fully even when it hurt, that isn't a liability. That's the same capacity that makes you capable of real, lasting, reciprocal love. It just got aimed at someone who couldn't meet it. And that happens. It happens to people who are thoughtful, self-aware, and careful. It happens because the brain doesn't fall for people the way logic does. It falls faster, it falls harder, and it holds on longer than reason says it should. You miss them because your brain learned them. Because in all of it, there were moments that felt real and moments that felt like home, even when home wasn't always safe. The missing makes sense. You're not broken for feeling it. What you do with it from here is where your story starts moving again. You know they weren't good for you, and now you also know. The fact that you miss them anyway doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you're human. It means your brain did its job. The work now is quietly, patiently, teaching it something new.